My people, this matter don auto. E don dey get as e be now. Right now, the court dey talk say everything wey they do yesterday, the day for yesterday, and today now they don say adjourn until on the 17th of this month. And the thing can't get as e be now, and the swearing in the day fast approaching. We can't dey hear for these two videos say okay, even if the swearing in still come, they'll still swear that man inside. So e no still matter say Adeleke own say he own stay for ground, but at last I can't get the victory. My people wanna see this thing. E dey disturb my mind though. E dey disturb me oh. Hell, my papa God though. I beg go. My people. This one a BOD team. Mona not forget mona like na do well.
All Progressives Congress, the President-elect Bola Tinubu, and the Independent National Electoral Commission. The APP, through its counsel, Obiedent, had sought an order of court to nullify the election of Tinubu on the grounds that he was not qualified to run in the first place. Meanwhile, counsel to INEC first respondent, APC and Tinubu have accepted the application and are not asking for cost on the petition, just as the tribunal accepted the application and dismissed the petition by the APP.
I just entertained the petition by Peter Obi and Labour Party vs INEC, Bola Tinubu, Kashim Shettima, and the All Progressives Congress. It was a very brief session, just like the previous one. What happened was that after the councils had introduced themselves, the council to Peter Obi informed the tribunal that following a meeting by the representatives of all parties involved, that they had agreed that today's session be adjourned to next week, Wednesday, the 17th. He said this was to enable all parties file their applications, reply their applications, and they also tender all controversial documents before next week, so that when they come to the tribunal next week, there will be the pre-hearing will just commence outrightly. This was also confirmed by Wole Olanipekun, who is also counsel to the APC, that indeed what the counsel to Peter Obi had said earlier on was true. The tribunal judiciously granted them their request and urged all parties to come back next week Wednesday, and insisted that these applications, replies, and that needed to be processes that needed to be filed needed to be done before the adjourned date, so that when they return back next week, they will just commence with a pre-hearing.
Okay, Ahmadine, I mean, talking about adjournment, looking at the time frame when, of course, the inauguration, that's the handover, should happen on the 29th. Looking at it in terms of time constraint, do you think something substantial can be achieved between 17th and 29th, or before 29th?
Now, if you have followed previous tribunal, election petition tribunal, I don't think anything substantial can be achieved before May 29. Remember that this pre-hearing is just a phase. The hearing proper has not started. And the pre-hearing is expected to take about 14 days, that is 2 weeks. From now till, that is just a few days before May 29 handover. Then the hearing proper will start, of which Nigeria Constitution stipulates that they have 180 days to answer, to argue, bring their arguments before the tribunal based on its merits and demerits. And after that, if there is also going to be another appeal to the Supreme Court, I think they have another 180 days. So all in all, just like Osun governorship, which was decided yesterday and which had been in the tribunal before it got to the courts since last year, the same route will be followed for this presidential election petition tribunal.
What just happened today was the pre-hearing session. So the serious business of the petition itself has not started. So what usually takes place during the pre-hearing session is the fact that the court and the parties outline how the process of the petition, the substantial action that would happen during the course of the trial of the petition would go through. Now, it is at this pre-hearing session that they would look at witnesses that are going to be called. They will look at the manner of tendering evidence. So, for instance, if there are documents that are certified through copies of INEC results, right, and parties are not contesting some of those results, so at this pre-hearing session, it will then be agreed on as to whether those documents would go in first, and then before parties call their witnesses. So usually, the petitioners would open their case first and start with their witnesses. And good thing now with the amendment of the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, which the president just signed into law, I think sometime last month or in March. Now, the petitioners now have a longer period of time within which to prove their case. Under the old regime, it had merely, I think, just a few days or so. But now, under the new regime, the petitioners now have 6 weeks within which to prove their case. Now, after the petitioners have exhausted their 6 weeks, under these new amendments of the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, each of the respondents then have not more than 10 days within which to also defend their victory, so to speak. Now, it is after all this that parties would then file their final addresses, and then the court would then deliver its decision. Mind you, all these are to take place within 180 days from the date of filing.
Okay, so there's a time frame to it. Thank you. There's this issue of non-conclusion of the election petition before the swearing in of the announced winner, and it has formed a major point of discussions on the electoral process. What's your take on this? And is the 180 days enough? And is it possible to have this, as it's done in other countries, Kenya, for example, before swearing in?
Right. I don't think that there is really an issue about that. We know that over time, right from 1999, when we returned to democratic rule, losers of elections have usually gone to court, and it did not prevent the winners of the elections from being sworn in, right from the time of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo.
But it's never happened on the presidential level, not at this level. Yes.
Right, so that's not really a serious issue of contention, right? On that May 29th, the truth of the matter is that the person that won the election will be sworn in. It doesn't affect the conduct of the proceedings, the petitions currently ongoing. Now, the only way that can happen where it's a situation where the winner of an election is only sworn in after the petition of the users of the petition have been determined is if there is an amendment to the Constitution to put that into consideration. So long as there is no provision in the Constitution to the effect that a winner of an election cannot be sworn in until the petition against his victory is determined, nothing can stop the winner of an election from being sworn in.
This is Bod TV Bod. In case the first time you come here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more uploads.